Okay, we've got, I believe, a pretty big update, especially for Save the World related stuff. We also have the Chapter 7 Season 1 Battle Pass. I don't particularly play Battle Royale like at all anymore, so I'm not that interested. I mean, there's some cool stuff here for the people that are interested in it, but it's like not a lot of it is appealing to me personally, right? But I mean, I also kind of go into a lot of this stuff expecting it to be that way. I'm just going over these just because, like, even though this isn't normally what I want to cover, I don't know. I just like I wanted to take a look at these as well, and I already have because I've looked at these changes like and then found out patch notes existed when I initially recorded a whole thing saying and I said there were no patch notes, and then I found out that is actually not correct. I didn't look for patch notes, so I assumed there wasn't any. We do have Marty McFly from Back to the Future. It's actually kind of cool. Um, I have nothing else to say about that aside from the fact that that's kind of cool. Other than that, I don't think this battle pass is that interesting altogether. So yeah, enough about that though, because I'm not a battle royale player. Over here we have a new emote wheel. We will also check out what that looks like in game. If we open the new emote wheel, okay, actually not bad. I haven't updated anything like between like how it used to be and now, so I don't have slots 7 and 8. Okay, you need to not do that. We also have I'll take that. We also have okay, can you I cannot do that now. Why not? Okay. We also have these new trees like from how they look in like the current or newer battle royale seasons. Couple trees that are like new and then some that are like the designs that we already like have and should be used to by now, but not all overall not bad. We also have this like rock texture changed as opposed to how it used to be. Not bad either. Go back to the emote wheel though. It's actually not bad. It looks very like nice and organized. One thing I don't like is like it's you have your like pinned emotes, gem tracks, comms, which doesn't seem bad at first, but if you want to use anything that's not in your existing wheel, you have to like go down here, and then you get this like really, really weird, disorganized view of like, everything else. And it's weird because like, why is it in this set not like a proper grid? Why are they skipping 4 on every row? And like, it's just so much effort to also search for stuff in here, you know? Like that's so weird. You can click it and you can play. You can use any of like the keys for these to to just quick use them. So as it would have been, or you can hover over it and release your emote wheel key to just do it as well. Overall though, it's just weird, dude. And I'm not so sure how I feel about this because like it's an a completely unnecessary menu to just find something. But then again, I mean, having a search bar is nice, and hint hint, we want search bars in a few other places, Epic. So start taking notes. Aside from how weird the pause menu looks, I hope they fix this because this looks stupid. Like, I guess it's because they had to cut out like something here, but I mean that doesn't mean you have to make it look like this. Like, stretch that down. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm gonna just drag this in here because it's easier. V39.00 update notes. Howdy all, we've made some big changes to the overall progression and power rating work in Save the World. By the way, these are fun. We'll get into those in a bit here. These changes are all about making things simpler, more rewarding, and creating a smoother experience. Whether you're playing solo or in a group, we've also added simple build plus simple editing settings, as well as a refreshed emote wheel. Let's get into it. Okay, so I mean, we've seen the changes to like the map, the emote wheel. Mixed on that, I mixed on it myself because going through this whole menu to find something that's not like on my pinned emotes is very much like a slog and like a mess. I mean, to be fair, we have filters, but it's like it doesn't really solve the fact that it's like why is the grid like this, man? There's so much space missing in there. Okay, um, first things first, we have updates, changes, and improvements. Research system removed. Fort stats previously earned through research are now gained automatically as your commander level goes up. Expeditions no longer require research points to run. Okay, so if we go over to command, we can see there's no longer the research tab. The fort stats that that I frequently forgot to level up during my a lot of times on my playthrough on my other accounts that I've been doing. That entire system gone, and apparently expeditions no longer require uh, research either. What is next? Power that's truly yours. Your power now comes entirely from your own commander level and loadout. No more depending on who's currently in your party. Your strength is a direct reflection of your personal progress. To balance it out, we've made the following adjustments. Fort stats from commander level ups have been greatly increased, making solo slash duo slash trio play easier. Um, Squads remain largely unchanged, or squad play, like with a full four-man team, remains pretty much unchanged. That seems fine on paper. Stonewood missions are now slightly more challenging to keep the action going. Okay, I don't know why you're making the beginning of the game harder. Twine Peaks missions are now less difficult than before. I'd argue that's probably for the best, but even then, I don't understand when you're making Stonewood harder and Twine Peaks easier. That seems a little bit backwards, if anything at all. I mean, to be fair, like, you have one high level player in Stonewood missions, and typically, like, just spamming hover turrets and Teddy. And I'm not saying that I don't do that because let's be real, I do that too. But you know, it's really easy for one person to do everything in a Stonewood mission. So I mean, anything that makes it like a bit more challenging and a bit more action packed to keep players engaged is probably a good thing. With the redistribution of fort stats, teammates leaving mid-mission no longer reduces your damage, health, or shields. Okay, I actually kind of like that. So, previously, um, if you're playing in a team of other players, um, like, you may get a power level buff, like a temporary power level buff, because you have these other players. So that system is gone, but because of that, you also don't get negatively impacted when a player leaves because like your buffed total overall just gets reduced. That's not bad. However, so our hero loadouts are now actually defined by the heroes in it, as well, like your commander and your like support team. So you can see up here with my hero level 133, almost 134, mind you. I used to be power 132, just before this update. So it's kind of a weird seeing, and I guess it is because this is a supercharged hero as well. So if I actually switch to my other loadouts, you can see just how. I mean, to be fair, they're all staying at the same general rating, but of course, because I wanted to actually test this, I created a loadout at the very end slot. I don't know, using a purple power 9 hero, 92. If I start adding to this loadout with other lower level heroes, it'll go up very slowly. If I start adding like higher level heroes, it'll go up a bit quicker. So instead of fort stats being anything that is involved in determining your power level, I believe it is just now the little bit of gain you get from like survivors and then your hero loadout. I wonder how much of an effect this is actually going to make on the game, knowing that power level was always something that players are behind on, or in my experience, has always been something that I've been behind on, especially early game, mid game, and playing through for the first time, and on the second time on my alt accounts. Although it's weird, I don't know if it's actually a bad thing entirely. A lot of other similar-ish games can often determine your power level based off like the level of like your gear and your armor or whatever other like equipment that you're using. So maybe it's not a bad thing because it kind of makes sense. Twine Peaks missions are now significantly less difficult, or are now less difficult than before. I don't know to what extent. Same with the Snowwood ones. I have not played a full mission yet, so in either zone. So it's like I have no idea to what extent they're easier or more difficult. I intend on finding out later. Aside from your total fort stats, And power rating displayed at the top left. That's our power rating up here. Also now factors in the rating of the heroes in your active loadout, as we saw, as I had to have this lower level loadout, and I was able to add heroes to increase it, and the top 3 rated weapons in your backpack. Now, that's a weird one because that seems so completely unrelated, you know? So, makes me wonder if, like, 'cause I'm not gonna test this myself, but if I crafted 2 other 144 weapons, like, would my power level actually go up hypothetically because they're the top rated in my backpack? That's such a weird change to make, especially knowing how many like because there's no way Epic doesn't know how many level players have items that are way beyond their level. So yeah, just kind of a weird change to make, and I don't really understand tying any amount of power level to items with durability. That makes very little sense to me, but this means your power rating now reflects both your progression and loadout choices, not just raw stats. To be fair, a lot of the raw stats in this game have also been really, really bad at not only their core functionalities, but like also even just reflecting on any sort of like an improvement sometimes. Note, Ventures remains unchanged and will continue using the previous power rating calculation based solely on Fort stats, which is really weird. No more upgrade points. Gadgets and tools now unlock and upgrade automatically as you reach specific commander levels. Complete Stonewood Storm Shield Events 3 to unlock gadget slotting and receive the first levels of both Airstrike and Adrenaline Rush. If I can actually go to the gadgets tab here as well. So basically, what it's saying is after Storm Shield Events 3, you unlock gadgets, and you will get the first level of the Adrenaline Rush, which, okay, the video does actually want to play, and the first level of Airstrike. So as you get to specific commander level intervals, which I'm sure they've defined, I'm sure people will actually know what exactly these levels at some point in the future if we don't already know them. I'm sure like data miners and leakers might be able to get this information. It will automatically upgrade these, meaning there aren't really upgrade points or anything to upgrade these. I'm also pretty sure these used to be in a completely separate category, or at least some of these, I swear, were in a separate page. I have no idea. Fort stats on their own were kind of forgettable, and like sometimes gadget points were easy to stack up and never do anything with. So to have the game automatically unlock these is kind of cool, but it also creates a limitation of like, is it? It's gonna unlock like the other gadgets too, right? And I mean, I guess we'll find out when I log into my alt account where I haven't bought all of the gadgets. I can't wait to see some of the changes that from this that are going to apply there. But that's not a thing I'm going to check for months, by the way. Now, the next thing I want to take a look at is simple build and simple edits. Now, I believe these already existed in Battle Royale, Creative, whatever, but these just weren't in Save the World at like yet. So, new to building, we've got you covered, literally. Similar to simple edit, simple build is an option in the settings game building that makes learning how to build simpler. Turn on the settings, look in the direction you want to build, and just build. What does that mean? In case you missed it, simple edit is an existing building setting that makes the whole building process easier. Just look at the structure you'd like to change and make edits with a single button press. Um, okay, I will set that off my screen. So we can go into settings and what build. Build is what? Build is what category? I don't remember a build category in here. It says game build, and I'm like, oh wait, that's game UI. No, wait, that wouldn't make any sense. I'm an idiot. I just want to make that clear. So, settings, game, simple build. See, I have simple edit and simple build off because I personally do not like them as someone who's already fine with the current building system. This might make building easier for somebody else. I can't speak for that because I don't know. Now I'm gonna turn on no, I'm gonna turn on simple build but not simple edit yet. You can see my icons just immediately are different. Okay, and now how do I'm confused. Okay, great. So we can build these, and that's great and all. But you see, the problem is this is Save the World, and what I just did here is a disgusting mess that doesn't benefit Save the World at all. Save the World, in my opinion at least, relies on much more strategic building. But mind the mess over there. But Save the World relies on much more strategic building, where I don't think anyone in Save the World is going to find this more efficient or easier. It's really weird, actually. I was trying to place a ramp right there, and oh, because I have to look. No, but that didn't place the ramp either. No. Okay. So what I would like. Okay. I kind of see it now, but once again, I would just like to point out that building like this does not help you in Save the World. So now let's actually try to build something logical. I want to build a simple trap tunnel. Okay. Floors, please. Uh. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Well, I didn't want that. Uh. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay. Um, Overall, just to build that much effort. No, thank you. And the reason why I say like I don't like that personally because to me as someone who's already completely fine with the current building system, I'm not a huge fan of that. So think considering how long it took and how much effort it took to build that compared to how quickly I can just create that using my actual ability to separately choose the building pieces, mind the fact that I pressed the wrong button. I don't know, simple build just not for me. For someone who might actually struggle with how this is, like I can't speak for that because that's beyond my experience. Now let's go back to editing and turn on simple edits. Once again, I don't really like simple edit either, but it is faster. There's no denying that. Now you see the problem is I don't know how to change shape. See, I can make this window here, but the problem is I want a door. Okay, so I have to make the... Okay, wait. Okay, so I have to look down to this lower column. Okay, so then how do I... Okay, well, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted either. That's not what I wanted. I I I want this piece, but inverted, and I can't get that. Am I not looking in the right spot? Or yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of simple edit or simple build because, you know, as someone who's been just fine with the current building system for the last several years, simple building, simple edit is not something I need personally, and I would prefer to just play with them off. I'm doing this in a very janky way because I want to be able to switch between having this live and in the background, so it's really hard to do that without using my Windows key a lot. Um, okay, we did see the refreshed visuals in the in terms of like I guess the Stonewood Storm Shield textures don't count because these are still using the old ones, not the new ones that we saw earlier in the actual Stonewood mission, as well as like the Battle Royale style like trees. We also saw the new Emote Wheel, which I'm still a bit mixed on. I don't like how much of a slog going through this menu of filled with gaps is, because I would rather if it was just a bit more organized than that. Once again, the search bar is kind of nice. Okay, now we have the bug fixes and known issues. So in terms of bug fixes, in the Frozen Fjords Venture Zone, Teddy, Decoy, and Shock Tower can again be placed on surfaces where their placement was previously blocked. That's good. Also in the Venture Zone, fixed a visual issue with several containers not disappearing upon opening. Are they supposed to be disappearing? Because some of those look really weird when you search them and they just vanish. Fixed a visual issue with some assault rifles and SMGs displaying incorrect bullet flight trajectory. I don't even think I know what that means. Sidekicks now properly path around the Storm Shield device without climbing on top of it or clipping through it. Uh, okay. Added the missing constructor tag to the Epic Ready Lockbot hero. I did hear about that actually. Archived jam tracks no longer appear incorrectly in the emo wheel. Okay, well that's good. And as for known issues, completing a mission may cause power rating to be lower than it actually is, potentially locking the player out of high-level missions. This doesn't occur when playing missions near your power rating. Loading into a new mission or switching to a different hero loader, then switching back should correct it. Okay, so that's just, typical jank that's going to occur when you start changing the power level system and fail to test the changes that you made properly. Yeah, that's kind of to be expected. The command gadgets tab does not appear after completing the Storm Shield Defense 3 mission, preventing players from viewing gadget upgrades. Work around enter a mission or re-enter saved world. Yeah, that's typical. That's typical. Something like that would happen. Gadget notification doesn't pop up after earning 1 through level up. They should probably fix that. Simple edit. Wall and roof previews are currently missing when making arches or ramps. Yeah, I definitely felt like something was missing with that. Simple edit. UI does not update to reflect the reset after editing a structure. Yeah. Directional jump pads won't activate when phase shifting onto them. How long has that been broken for? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I'm not sure. Xbox One specifically. So this is for the Xbox players out there. Uh, Lighting may be missing on the command and mission launch screens. So what? The home base lights are off. What does that mean? Ninja heroes cannot use the Mantis Leap ability consistently. So I did hear that in a previous update they fixed this and it was not properly fixed. It was just semi-fixed or something. Like it could still happen, but like just to a less extent. Having that fixed properly is really good though. Soldier's shockwave ability may be locked out if interrupted by player-built ramps, roofs, or sloped terrain. I did have that happen once and I got really upset. However, earlier in just this video exactly, I'm pretty sure I was unable to throw a grenade. So, that might be another issue worth looking at. Hotwire's overcharge perk may not be able to trigger lightning damage consistently. Releasing and pressing the attack button again will restart lightning damage. I'm not so sure if I know what that means, but at the same time, I've never used Hotwire. So, that's also my fault. Constructor's plasma pulse grenades may not deploy or damage enemies after the player fires a bow. Using other weapons, melee included, does not break the ability's functionality. Finally, it's a known issue that they've acknowledged because that's been happening for like a long time, I'm pretty sure. And it's good to actually know like that there will be a fix in the future for this potentially. The Hero Commander Buckle Plus perk currently provides reduced effective damage as the weapon level increases. Now, that's just weird. The player character may sometimes use incorrect arm sweep animation when interacting with world objects. Okay, overall, there's a lot of known issues, and I hope in the future, like the next updates, at least half of these. I'm not saying all, I'm hoping at least half of these can be fixed. Here's the thing. I think we're gonna have to take a while to really see like how players overall fit. Why is my level 116? Oh, is this the okay, that made sense. Like I was saying, I think we're gonna have to really take a while to see generally like to get some like to really see how these changes are gonna impact the game. Because I think there are definitely a few things here that is going to impact the early game, especially. Oh, some of my own recent stuff for the playing on my alt account, some of that is now practically like out of date and invalid because I talked about like the research stuff with the fort stats and like gadgets, and I mean now I guess I'm gonna have some of these unlocked on my alt account. I'll find out one day. Some of these things are definitely going to need some feedback and are possibly going to be set to it to be adjusted based on community feedback. We've seen Epic do that before, so it's possible we're going to see that again. I can't really say for sure.